The first time I heard about the shortcut, I didn't think much of it. I had just closed on the land, 60 acres of open ground, trees lining the edges, a long dirt path cutting straight through the middle like it had been there for years. The realtor mentioned something about locals occasionally passing through, but he said it casually, like it wasn't a big deal. At the time, it wasn't. I wasn't even living there yet. I was still planning things out: where the house would go, how I'd lay out the fencing, what parts of the land I'd leave untouched. It was the kind of project you take your time with. Then I visited on a weekday morning. That's when I saw it, a car, driving straight across my property like it was a public road. I stood there for a second watching it move along the dirt path, not slowing down, not hesitating, like it had every right to be there. It disappeared into the tree line on the far side. I remember thinking, okay, maybe that's what the realtor meant. Still, something about it didn't sit right. So I came back the next day, earlier this time, and there it was again. Different car, same path, the same confidence. By the third day, I didn't even need to guess anymore. This wasn't occasional. This was routine. People had been using my land as a shortcut for so long, they didn't even question it anymore. That's when I decided to do something about it. Not immediately. I took a few days to observe, counted how many vehicles came through. Not just cars, SUVs, even a couple of delivery trucks, all cutting across like it saved them time. Which, to be fair, it probably did. But it wasn't their land. It was mine. So I started with the basics. Signs clear, visible, impossible to miss. Private property. No trespassing. Do not enter. I put them up at both ends of the path. Then I waited. The next morning, I parked near the entrance, just out of the way, and watched. First car came through right on schedule. Didn't slow down. Didn't even glance at the sign. Just drove right past it. Second car, same thing. By the third, I knew signs weren't going to fix this. People weren't ignoring them by accident. They were ignoring them because they didn't care. So I moved to step 2. I hired a crew and had a proper gate installed at the main entry point, heavy-duty steel, set into reinforced posts, not something you just move or drive around easily. It wasn't locked at first. I left it open for a day, just to see how people reacted. No change. Cars kept coming through. That's when I closed it. The next morning, I was back again, watching from a distance. Right on cue, the first car pulled up. White SUV. She stopped just short of the gate, clearly confused. Sat there for a few seconds. Then her door opened. She stepped out, looking around like something had personally offended her. Mid-40s, confident posture, the kind of energy that says she's used to getting her way. She walked up to the gate, read the sign, then looked down the path like she was trying to figure out why it was blocked. Then she did something that made me shake my head. She grabbed the gate and tried to open it. It didn't budge. Of course it didn't. That's when I stepped out. Problem, I called out. She turned, startled for a second, then quickly shifted into irritation. Yeah, she said. This gate is blocking access. I walked up slowly. That's the idea. Her expression tightened. This road connects to the main street. People use it. Not anymore, I replied. She crossed her arms. You can't just close it off. I glanced around. It's my property. I absolutely can. She shook her head. No, you don't understand. We've been using this for years. I figured, I said. That doesn't make it public. Her tone sharpened. I live in the HOA down the road. This access point is important for our community. There it was. I nodded slowly. Your HOA doesn't own this land. It affects us, she insisted. That means we have a say. No, I said, calm but firm. It doesn't. She looked at the gate again, then back at me. Well, you're going to need to open it, she said, like she was giving an order. I almost smiled. I'm not opening it. Silence. The kind that builds pressure. You're causing a problem, she said. No, I replied. I'm solving one. Her patience snapped. You're going to regret this, she said. I'll have the HOA deal with it. I stepped back slightly and gestured toward the road she came from. You're going to need to turn around. For a moment she just stood there staring at me. Then she huffed, got back in her SUV, and drove off. I watched her go, already knowing this wasn't over. And it wasn't. Over the next few days, more people showed up, some confused, some annoyed. A few tried to argue. Most just turned around and left. But she came back. Every day, sometimes alone. Sometimes with someone else in the passenger seat. Each time she'd get out, try the gate, look around, like maybe it would magically open if she stared at it long enough. Then one morning she showed up with papers.